all to be excited because I'm about to change your lives. I just want you to walk away taking one or two things that you can put into practice. That's something you can do. Can you choose one or two things that help you? And then leave the rest. There has been a shift. How many of you in here have noticed that mobile phones, social media, and apps have shifted the way that we communicate with each other? Who's noticed this shift? How many of you in here are iPhone people? Raise your hand if you're iPhone. Okay, put your hands down. All right. How many of you are an Android in here? Woohoo! Okay. And I'm not going to ask if anyone's BlackBerry because I don't like to embarrass people. So, how many of you have seen a baby with an iPad? And so we live in this universe where our mobile phones, we're very much attached to them. And it's kind of driving social media because most people are using social media from those phones and the apps, so it's all kind of connected. How many of you in here sleep with your mobile phones? People were asking, what do you mean? In the bed, by the bed, on the floor? All of our precious memories are stored as pictures and videos in our phones. Some of us do banking from our phones. Some of us check into airlines and have our tickets on our phones. We do all these things. Our GPS, how many of you use the GPS on your phone? If I didn't do that, I promise you I'd be wandering around somewhere in Alaska right now because I get lost constantly, right? And so we have to keep in mind our clients are just as connected. Sometimes automating some of the even home stuff allows you to focus on business because you're not stressed thinking you're dropping the ball in other places. And so you can get all kinds of things done for you through these apps. There are some things that you do not want to outsource though. What this means is when we're looking at social media, you are building relationships. The rules of engagement online are exactly the same as in person. The rules of engagement online are exactly the same as in person. And so all of you in here are relationship experts. This is what you do. It's not just about asset management. You are good with people. That's part of what you do. And so understand that to be successful on social media, all it is applying the rules you already know in the real world online. How do you manage these relationships in ways where you're still touching people? Think about that wealth manager I told you about. She stayed in contact with me. We saw each other at events from time to time, but one of the things that endeared me to her was the information she was posting in between these meetings that made her a constant in my life, whether she knew it or not, so that when I needed her services, she was the first person I thought of. So I want you to think 5 years down the line, not just now, so that you're going to have all these younger people in your funnel because you've been giving them that great advice now. Creating a strong brand on social media, creating a strong brand. Or is there a social network you can think of where you can plug in someone's name and it'll tell you if you know someone in common? LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the only social network that I say that all wealth management professionals should use. It's the only one that I say across the board, everyone should be there. Keywords for me are not social media. What are the chances of someone going on the web, typing in social media, and needing a miniature black woman with an afro puff? But if someone needs a social media speaker, hello. I actually had an oil and gas company that was having a large event in Houston. They decided 2 weeks before an event that they needed to add an after-dinner speaker, and they knew they had to find someone local, so they just typed in Houston social media speaker. And this is what popped up. You'll notice the first thing is my website. The second thing is my LinkedIn profile because those keywords were in there. So it not only helped me on LinkedIn, it helped me there as well. This is how this all plays together. So leveraging social media and keywords on it not only helps you within the social networks, but it helps you with Google as well to pop up for your search terms. How many of you in here love making cold calls? One. There's always one. I don't care the room. There's always one. Congratulations for being that person. Awesome. If you see that you know someone in common, ask that person in common, hey, can you introduce me? Can we set up a meeting? Now, what's interesting is when I ask people, how would you contact this person you know in common within LinkedIn, or when you're seeing this, the answers come along generational lines. Usually my millennials, my youngest people, they say, well, LinkedIn has the ask for introduction feature, so you click on that and you go through that. Okay, that's true, it works, it's a little clunky. Now, my Gen X's, who are a little bit older than millennials, they say, well, if you know the person, you have their email address, just shoot them an email, an actual email outside of LinkedIn, and just say, hey, can you introduce me to Bob or whoever this person is? Okay, that works too. Does anybody want to guess what my baby boomers always say? Thank you. And which one is most efficient? Calling. The culture of Facebook is all about community. It's all about community. It's about the we. And the trick to being successful on Facebook is hitting emotional nerves. Now, unfortunately, that could be good or bad emotional nerves. How many of us have friends that are a little cuckoo-cuckoo when it comes to politics? Ask yourself, what is your one thing? I want you to take just 2 seconds and think about what is one thing from this presentation that you can put into action by the end of this week.